So I felt like putting something together that was just very impromptu about horses and about horse girls. And I think that if I do share this with people, the girls that are in that same kind of mindset and lifestyle as me are going to be able to identify with this. Maybe not all, but I think a few. And so I can tell you that I started to completely fall in love with horses from when I was a little girl. And I mean, I can't even tell you how young I was. All I know is that I remember being so excited seeing a horse on TV or in the car and seeing a horse out there. I would like look at the horse from inside of the car, being a passenger with my dad driving, and just screaming, horsey, horsey. And this was just something that I have been my whole entire life. And if there is any way to explain it, I really don't have the ability to because I don't know how it happens. How in the world does a little girl who did not grow up in the country, did not have access to horses as a young child? My family was not into horses, they weren't into animals at all. And what happened to me that I was just completely drawn to horses from pretty much infancy? This is an unexplainable thing. And it leads me to think about sometimes things that are a little unconventional. We, as human beings, we've evolved and we are part of evolution. We have been evolving through millions of years. And I think that possibly with horses, there may have been some kind of DNA maybe mixing in to certain pieces of people. And I think that sometimes it's just in some people's blood. And that is what I can tell you. And I'm sitting here listening to my horses. I'm looking at them live right now because I have them on camera. And I just love hearing them. I love seeing that they're having their hay. I love seeing that they're happy. When I was younger, I rode horses as a little child, and my father knew that I needed to be around horses. So he was great enough and kind enough to bring me to the horses as much as possible. And when I was younger, I remember the horses that were so kind to me as a young rider, not really having any refinement, and how they took care of me. These are horses that didn't have to put up with a young girl flapping all over and pulling on their mouths because I didn't know any better. They didn't have to be kind, but they were, and they took care of me. And then as I got older, I got more refined and I started to understand what it took to be a good rider. And I think that through the years, I have wanted to take care of them the way they took care of me. And it was just something that I've always had in my blood, always had in my brain, always had in my desire to not just have horses to ride. I always wanted to care for them, and I do. Now I ride still, but I love taking care of my horses. I love making sure that they're happy. I love making sure that they're content. Now, I do know that there are a lot of people out there, and not just women, but men too, that share the same kind of feeling inside towards horses. And what makes that so? It's a very indescribable thing. Being involved, wanting to be around horses from such a young age, and that's never stopped. It has never stopped. All these decades later, it is still the same. It has not changed at all. And I found myself asking lately, what happens when I'm no longer here and when I die? Are there going to be horses out there wherever I'm going to be? And I believe there will be. I believe that there will be. I think that there will always be horses no matter where I go. I'm going to always have them, or I'm going to find them. I'm going to make sure that I find them because it's something that is so ingrained in my blood and in my body and in my soul. And so for me, it's a quest of right now, horses are very expensive, and I have found myself rearranging my life to be able to accommodate my horses monetarily and on a basis of having them in their living space. So I actually moved from my old location to where I am now, just specifically for horses, so that I could build an area for them where I can have them right outside, where I can see them. And it's really something that I've had in my blood for so many decades, and I finally had the ability to make it happen. But it's very difficult. It really is. Horses are a lot of work. It's a lot of worry. They are big animals. They love to run. They love to get in trouble. They love to get hurt. And so every day I wake up saying, please let me have a good day with these guys, because I love my horses and I want to do the best for them. And I find myself making sure that even if it is to my own expense, sometimes I don't eat until 8 o'clock at night because I need to take care of my horses. And that's totally fine with me. It is totally fine with me. But all I can say is that horses are such magical creatures and they are healers. What makes them that way, I don't know, but they truly are. And if you've never had the experience to be around horses, you will not understand this. But if you are somebody who's been involved with horses, has been in love with horses, you will understand it. And especially if you've really taken a lot of time with them other than riding, where you've actually studied them, watched them, played with them, interacted with them. My horses are my buddies. They're my friends. They come over to me immediately when they see me. That's something that I find to be so wonderful. These are big animals. They don't have to want to come to me. They could just stay on their end of the corral and not be bothered with me and keep their head down into the grass or into their hay. But they choose to come to me, and they do know. It is a feeling. You can actually feel the horse's energy. You can feel their heart. And when you're breathing together with that horse, it's a feeling that's undescribable, indescribable. It is something that you really will not be able to understand unless you've done it, where you've stood next to that horse and you felt their energy, you felt that power. But at the same time, all that power that they have is so subtle. They could just be standing still, not doing a thing, and you can feel that power. And there is nothing greater than just putting your hand on that horse and feeling that energy come through them and into you. It's so amazing and it's so beautiful. I use my horses with my clients, and my horses have healed more than one person just by being a horse. They don't even have to do anything at all. Horses are the mirrors to our soul. They really are. And if you look at a horse, you can see yourself. They will mirror who you are. If you have fear, they're going to be a little uneasy. If you have anger, they're not going to want to come anywhere near you. If you come to them with a sense of peace and joy and love, they're going to feel that. And they eventually are going to make their way towards you with their nose outstretched, just wanting to be able to touch you a little bit. And how you respond is going to make all the difference. If you go over to a horse with your hands big, going up to their face or their eyes, they don't like that. They don't want to be mauled, just like we don't want to be mauled. They want to have a feeling of peace and security. And they would much rather come over to you on their own terms and not have you put your hands in their face, because that's kind of disruptive for them. It disrupts their own energy balance. So if you go over to them with a kind gesture, with your hand outstretched, but just waiting for them to come over and make the first move, you'll be much better off, and they will really appreciate that. And so, in closing, I just want to say that I am the luckiest person, and I think that anyone who has horses or who loves horses is the luckiest person because you really get to blend with something that I believe is very close to heaven. And I hope that this resonates with you. So now I'm going to end, and I would love to be able to connect even more deeply with anyone who shares my same sentiments. So I will leave a way for you to get in touch with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. And remember, love your horses.